How are you?
How are you doing today?
I am good. And yourself?
I'm great. I had 10 KSB today because it's Thursday. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I just got home like 40 minutes ago.
I'm doing interviews next week for the next cohort.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
welcome you.
Oh, good, good, good. So do I need to present the score slides? Do you have, or
Um,
I mean, I have them up if you need me to.
yeah, you should do your slides and then I'll do mine after you
Okay.
do your presentation at the beginning.
Yeah. All right. Good. I'll do that. I'll make it quick,
Okay.
and then I'll turn it over to you.
I'm all
And
prepped and ready to go.
yeah, good. All I have to do is share my screen. We've got about 2 minutes left, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got 6:58, and then I'll start it.
Okay. How many people are registered for tonight? Do you know?
No, actually, I don't. I never looked. I will look right now.
Okay.
587.
Okay.
No, it's true. they started doing these things on a regional basis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is a
So
big topic, so that's a lot of
this
people.
is, yeah, this is a big topic.
Yeah,
All right,
I
so
got it. I'll handle it.
cool. Let me bring my slides back up if I can find them. All right, and I'm going to share my screen and then open it up.
Okay.
All right, hitting start webinar right now. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Bob Cohen. I'm with SCORE. We are going to start in just a minute. There are several people joining us yet, so I want to wait a little bit, and then we will get started in just a matter of 2 or 3 minutes max. So give us a few minutes, and we'll get going. But I'd like to welcome everybody tonight, and thank you for joining our workshop. So as you all are joining us tonight, I just want to let you know that this is being recorded. It's also it's live on YouTube as well. It's being streamed, and you will have access to the recordings and the slides sometime in the next few days. Uh, we will also be posting the recording to the SCORE website as well. So, look for that after the meeting. We still have a few more joining us. I'm just going to wait another, let's say, 30 seconds, and then I will start the workshop. All right, it's slowing down a little bit, so I think we'll get us started. Um, my name is Bob Cohen again. I am with SCORE in the Cleveland area, and I want to welcome everybody from all over the central region here to our tonight's workshop. I'm joined tonight by Lindsay Sims McKee. Lindsay is one of our uh, experts on the topic, and in particular tonight's topic, SEO. I think you'll get a lot out of this. So what I'd like to do is just go through a few slides about SCORE, so you know how to get a hold of us and are able to get a mentor if in fact that's what you're looking for. So we've probably got the largest network of free volunteer small business mentors in the country. SCORE is made up of about 240 chapters. As I said, I'm from the Cleveland chapter, and there are some 10,000 SCORE mentors who give freely of their time to work with small businesses just like yours. So we've got something for everybody. Our mission is to foster small, vibrant business communities throughout mentoring and education, and we do that all over the U.S. We want to give every person the support that they need to really thrive in their businesses. So you will find that SCORE mentors can stay with you for the life of your business, right from the time we start up with you all the way through if you're exiting your business and selling your business. So, you all know that the small business communities drive our national economy. It's about 50% of the total economy of the US. So it's very important that small businesses grow and thrive. So, there's something for everybody. If you go to our score.org, and you'll see that there is just about something for everybody on there. We want to make sure that we are working with veterans, with Black entrepreneurs, with women and Hispanic entrepreneurs. There is an entire section on for Hispanic entrepreneurs. Our website, it totally translates into almost 200 languages, but certainly Spanish is an easy one to find on there. So please go to our website, look at all the free resources that we have available, and I think that you'll find it very, very valuable for your clients, or I'm sorry, for your business. One of the things about SCORE that is really important to us is that we've got a code of ethics that all SCORE mentors must sign off on an annual basis. And so that protects our clients. We're not allowed to share any information. We're not allowed to participate in your business other than by advice, which gives us the opportunity to look at what advice we're giving you based on the needs of your business and your business only. So all of our information is confidential. The one thing that I wanted to point out to you is that this website, score.org, and if you're in any particular locale, you can probably put in score.org / whatever that locale is. So in Cleveland, it's / Cleveland. And you'll find templates and resources, workshops and events. Here's how you find a mentor. I think it's really important if you are in the process of looking for a mentor to go to the website. There are a couple of different ways you can find a mentor. You can actually look for profiles on a mentor based on your needs, or you can just put your zip code in and tell us what it is you're looking for, and we will pair you up with a mentor in your area that would be able to work with you. So, just wanted to go through the website very quickly. Live workshops and local workshops, recorded online courses, just about anything you could possibly need, we've got there. So I'm going to finish this up by saying that all of our services are free and pretty much unlimited in terms of working directly with a SCORE mentor. And we are powered by the SBA. In other words, the SBA does provide some small amount of financing for us, but we are a service partner of the SBA. So now what I'd like to do is get the evening started with Ms. Lindsay Sims McKee. Lindsay has been working with SCORE Cleveland and the entire small business ecosystem in and around Northeast Ohio, and her particular expertise is with Google Analytics, Google SEO, and I'm going to let her tell you more about what she does and then get started. And I'm going to stop sharing, Lindsay, and let you take over from here. So everybody, here is Lindsay.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see so many lovely faces here. Oh, good, new people and people who I've seen before. So if you guys could, while I tell you about me and I share my screen, I would love for all of you to tell me about yourselves in the chat. I know there's over 100 people in here, so you might think, Lindsay, that's going to be chaotic. I know. I got you though. Like I promise, you put it in there and I will read it. So go ahead. Tell me who you are, where you're from, and what your business is. So those are the things I want to know. And then as we're going along throughout tonight is one of those workshops where it is very important that I have an idea of what your business is, because we are going to be talking about stuff that's directly related to growing your business, not just any old business. And I want to make sure that I'm answering your questions and that we're talking about your scenarios and the stuff that you guys are dealing with. So tell me who you are, tell me about yourself, and then I will go from there. So yes, I see you guys putting it in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We got people from Missouri City, Texas, Cincinnati, Chicago area. Okay, writing books. We got horse trainers. This is what I'm talking about. Just tell me all the stuff. Jewelry business. Oh, hi, Mary. So all sorts of stuff. So go ahead and tell me all about yourself. And if I know you, go ahead and wave at me. And if you're here in Ohio, welcome to Ohio workshop. And if you're not in Ohio, welcome to an Ohio workshop. So I'm Lindsay. I am your Grow with Google digital coach. I am the Grow with Google digital coach for Ohio. We have coaches in several states, like a lot of you who I see your names popping in and where you're from. So we have a coach in Michigan. We have one in Illinois. We have one in Tennessee. We do not have one in Mississippi. So I see a bunch of people from all over the place. Hey, Val. Val, I did get your email. I am going to respond. Val is like, Lindsay. And Susan, it's good to see you again. So, okay, so you guys are back. You guys know how I roll. So thank you very much for everyone putting your information in the chat. I really do use it. So everybody who is a returning person, you guys know I use that information. So go ahead, put it in the chat. I will keep an eye on the chat as we're going along. We got a Warren, Ohio person in the house. Y'all are coming in from all over the place. I love it. I am here in Cleveland. I am technically in Independence. That's where I live right now, but I'm actually from St. Louis. I was born here in Ohio. I was born here in East Cleveland. I am an East Clevelander, y'all. I was born here in East Cleveland. We moved when I was very small, and then I moved back when I was a grown person on purpose. Like I voluntarily moved back to Cleveland. So I live here now and I love it. I've lived here for like 16 years now, 16 years. And it's been a blast. It's been a great time. So let's talk about SEO, because that's what you guys are here for. I know because I've seen some of you in this workshop already before, not in this workshop, but in workshops before. I know what a lot of you do already. And so I know the answer to some of the questions are going to be, you don't have a website, you don't have a business yet. You're at the beginning, you're trying to figure things out. You're trying to figure out what the steps are that you need to take in order to get yourself prepared. So I'm going to come at this from a perspective of both. If you are already someone who has a business and you already got all the things going, or if you're at the beginning, because I know a bunch of you are, okay? So that said, everyone who is searching for something at some point uses Google. I think that's like a blanket statement that we can feel pretty good about. So even people who are not interested, they're like, oh, I don't want to use Google for things. They have other things that they use. Eventually, they still use Google, or they use something that is powered by Google, like YouTube. And so a lot of people are using Google to find answers to their questions. And what we need to be thinking about as small business owners is how can we leverage that? Like, how can we make sure that when someone is searching something, that we are the ones that are being found when they are searching? Now, there's a few really important factors that you need to be seeing and thinking about. Note, this information is since COVID. So everyone who is like, oh, the data is not, this is all new information. 80+% of searches, people are looking for local. They are looking for local businesses. So all of you who are like, I'm in Dayton, I'm in this, I'm in that. Exactly. It is a whole thing. Google is actually a verb now. Like this is it. But people are not just Googling anything. A lot of them are looking for very specific things. They're looking for a bike shop near them. They are looking for a local jeweler. They are looking for a local French teacher. They're looking for something very specific, and you are the answer to their question. They just don't know that you're the answer to their question. And so our game tonight is to try to figure out, how can we make sure that when someone is Googling what you do, that they actually find you? And on top of that, 50% of people who are looking for searches, or who are searching right now, are looking for some sort of way to save money. Now, you might be thinking, but Lindsay, you tell me not to discount, because if you have been here before, you have heard me say, don't offer discounts. But just because people are looking for discounts does not mean that, and I keep telling people don't discount, it doesn't mean that you can't be found when they're looking to save money. Because I promise you, no matter what your price is, you are likely not the most expensive version of what you sell. And so there are ways for us as small business owners to compete with some of the larger companies, some of these big businesses, and there are ways for us to compete even if we're not the cheapest on the market, because we don't have to be the cheapest to win. Okay. So you're never going to hear from me that you need to be cheap or that you need to be big in order to win. You can absolutely win being small and expensive. Okay. So we're going to talk about that because I want everybody here to make money and get paid. Okay. So what are the three kind of high level topics we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about Google search, and we're going to talk about the Google business profile. That's going to be the majority. That's like 80% of what we're going to discuss. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Google ads. I think I have a workshop coming up with SCORE about Google ads probably in the next quarter. And so if we don't have it coming up this quarter, actually, because we still have, well, actually, we're almost done with this quarter. I'm like, we have a few more days left in this quarter. This is the last workshop for me for Q1. So in Q2, I think we have something coming up for ads. And so if you are interested in learning more about ads, I have whole workshops on that. We can dive deeper into that later. But what I really want you to focus is on the free stuff, the stuff that you can do that doesn't cost you any money and that will make like a big, big movement for you and your business. So let's talk about search. So let me see who was it who said that Google is now a verb. So that is a very accurate statement. That is really the truth. It starts with search. People are not just guessing anymore. I just remember, y'all, I'm old enough to remember the good old days when I say good old days, obviously I don't mean they were that good. When you would have a question for something and the only person you could ask was literally your mother. Like there's no one who knew things. We had to like look things up in encyclopedias and like there was just not a way to find the most relevant information. It just wasn't available. I mean, the best thing we had was the phone book, y'all, the phone book. And so things have changed a lot. Now you can type the words that you're interested in into Google and you're going to get a search results page that looks like this. It's going to have a bunch of answers. It's going to have maybe a couple of ads on it, and it's going to have hopefully someone, maybe your Google business profile, right? So it's going to have those bits of information. And this is kind of what the search page looks like. Now, for everyone who is knowing where I'm going with this, I want you guys to tell me in the chat, Lori's talking about going to the library. Yeah, you used to have to actually trek your behind to a library and ask somebody if you didn't know something. There was a whole human. And now, mind you, I was literally talking to someone earlier today about using a librarian to find information about market research, because librarians are fantastic and you should still use them. But Google is great for that, like, I just need to know where the nearest coffee shop is. Absolutely. If you need to know what all of the companies in Northeast Ohio that have over 500 employees are in the public sector, you probably should ask a librarian, right? So there's certain things librarians are still amazing for, so you should absolutely ask them. But there's a lot of stuff that we just kind of look up, like we just look instantly. So the question I want you guys to answer for me in the chat is, in addition to just Googling it, what is the second largest search engine? Can someone tell me what's the second largest search engine? So people will put things into Google, but they also ask this other search engine questions when they don't know the answer to something. YouTube, look at that. Brittany and Michael, y'all are right on top of it. No, it's not Bing. Y'all are right on top of it. It is YouTube. So in addition to asking Google just straight up, most people either go to YouTube or Google to ask a question, and that's just how it rolls right now. Now, a lot of Gen Z, this is a second little tip here. A lot of Gen Z loves going to TikTok to ask questions. And when I say that, what I mean is that if they have a big enough audience, they will go on to TikTok and just ask their question. Like it's something that they're curious about, though. It's usually not something that you can just Google. It's something where opinion comes into play and things like that. So you might see a lot of younger people asking questions verbally, but it's usually not a question like, what's the nearest coffee shop? They're asking like, who has the best honey roasted coffee in Northeast Ohio? That's an opinion-based question, and they're looking for a bunch of people to give them input. So that's a little bit different. But there's all sorts of things that are happening with search right now. And one of the things though is that Google still wins. So Google is still the #1 search engine. That's not changed. And whenever we are thinking about a basic search, one of the things that you all need to understand is that Google's job is to be right, right? Google wants to make sure that they are delivering the correct answer to someone's question, which is the reason why those opinion questions like best are not really all that great for Google. They are good for YouTube. They're fantastic for YouTube. There's a lot of best type opinion pieces on YouTube. But what they're really looking for, if they're just looking for something in proximity or local, they're looking for accuracy. People are looking for a coffee shop that is open right now, that is within walking distance or within immediate driving distance. That's what they're looking for. And what Google is doing is they're taking all of the websites that are in the internet, and over a period of time, they are scanning those websites, and then they are essentially creating a catalog. So they're creating a catalog of all this information. And then when someone types in yoga pants or bookstore, then Google says, who is this person? What do they mean by bookstore? And then how can I give them the answer that is as close to what they mean as possible? Okay, you guys hear what I said there? It's as close to what they mean as possible, because sometimes someone types in yoga pants, but they don't really want pants for doing yoga. What they really want is, anyone want to tell me in the chat, when someone types in yoga pants, what are they really looking for? Because they might not be looking for yoga. They might not actually be trying to do leggings. Thank you, Melissa. They're looking for leggings. And so because they're looking for leggings, Google is smart and it's going to give them that answer. Now, if someone is, if they're looking for spandex, yes, Shannon, they're looking for stretch, right? They're looking for something comfortable, athleisure, but they're not looking to do yoga. Now, the difference is maybe this person is a yogi, like they are constantly watching YouTube videos about yoga. They have what are those memberships to a yoga studio. If that person is looking for yoga pants, Google knows and says, okay, I'm gonna give you them yoga pants because that's what you're looking for. But what we as people who are creating websites and having our businesses out there need to understand is that the reality is we want to put all of the options, right? We want to, if you're selling pants that people use for yoga and for as leggings and for Pilates and for and, then we want to make sure that we're using the right words to represent how people are searching and to let Google know, hey, I need to show up in that results page when someone types in leggings, even though technically I am a place that sells yoga pants, right? Even though that's not what they typed in, I'm the answer, even if that's not what they're asking for, right? So we want to make sure that we are, yes, Lori, using the right keywords. This is where we're going with this. You have to be using the right keywords. Now, if someone does a search, in theory, they're going to get a really well curated search results page, meaning that Lori and Sarah and Shannon and Melissa and me, Lindsay, we're not gonna, if the 4 of us typed in yoga pants right now, we would get 4 different answers. That's a good thing. But everyone here needs to understand why that's a good thing, because Melissa and Shannon and Sarah and Lori and I are all in different locations. We have different lives, we have different preferences, we have different things that we're doing. And so what you all as business owners and people who are about to own a business need to understand is that that is the best possible thing that has happened for us. Because what that means is that we can make sure our website actually answers people's real questions without having to try to put literally every keyword in our website, right? So even though keywords are important, your game is not to try to stuff as many keywords in your website as possible. Your game is just to try to make sure that when someone is searching for the thing that you actually do, that you show up. That's really, really it. You just don't want to get missed for the stuff that's really important for you. So that's what SEO is all about. It is the process of making your website work so well that when someone is searching, you are more visible. You are the thing that they find. It helps to connect people to the correct answer for what their question really is, even if their question is weird or if they're not using the right words. And what that does for us as small business owners is that it increases the likelihood that we are going to have success, that we're going to make a sale. And I know, y'all, that there are a bunch of you in here who are small business owners who have service-based businesses. There's a lot of y'all. I see the candle makers and the people who are selling books and people who are selling products, but I know all my service-based businesses are like, does that work for me too? Yes, it does. You just have to realize that sometimes with services, we have to do a little bit more work to make sure that we're describing our services well so that Google knows how to put us in the right category, right? It's all about making sure we're going in the right category. So how do you do that? Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting. The best way to do that is by publishing really good content, like having a website that does really good at having enough information for people to know who you are and what you do. That's like the number one game, right? So what I want you guys to do, because I always like using your websites as real examples. So if you are a brave human and you would like for me to use your website as an example, go ahead, put your website in the chat right now. I want, www.websiteaddress.com. Go ahead, put it in the chat. And I am going to pick someone, make my life easy, y'all. You're doing it. Okay, I'll wait for a second because you're just going. Okay, good. There we go. I love it when you guys make it easy for me. So we have, try to see who this was. This is Vola. So Vola, this is Vola's website. And Vola has this, I'm so grateful it's a service-based business because I just talked about how services are so important and how a lot of us service-based businesses always feel left out because we're like, but what about me? I don't sell a candle, And so it's kind of hard sometimes when you sell something that's not a service. Now let's walk through using, I think it was I already forgot your name. Was it Lola or Zola? I'm good, Vola. Vola. Okay, so let's like Vola. Yeah, I think that's right. Vola. So we're using Vola's website. Let's talk about what content, titles, and organization mean. And we're going to use Vola's website as an example. Now, clearly, Vola and I do not know each other. We could, but we don't. So Vola and I've never met Vola before. I'm trying to see, you're a 929. That is absolutely not in Ohio. If it is, I don't know where it is because I've never seen 929 before. So we do not know each other. Whatever I say here is just the first time I'm experiencing Vola's website. Okay. Now, the best thing that we're seeing here is that this little title right here, CPA Accounting Services for Nonprofits and Small Businesses. Vola, I'm going to give you all the praise hands and the high fives and the applause because this is amazing. You have the perfect set of keywords right here at the beginning of your website. Now, for everyone who is watching this, why is this important? It's important because people need to understand immediately when they come to your website what you do. The first thing they read needs to be an extremely clear and descriptive explanation of what you do. Now, the first thing humans read is also the first thing that the Google spiders or the web crawlers read. And so because the web crawlers are reading CPA accounting services for nonprofits and small businesses, that is going to significantly increase the likelihood that Vola is going to get found in her area for CPA services for nonprofits and small businesses. This is amazing for her. Or them. I don't know what Vola is. So for them, I try not to gender people I've not met. So for Vola, this is very important for them that they get found for the thing that they do. Now, this can get very, very complicated if for some reason you have a thing that can get a little confusing. So I'm going to use Vanessa as an example because Vanessa's website is sitting right here at the top and I can see that it's Studio Fitness. I love that name, by the way, Studio Fitness Vanessa, good stuff. Now, without going to this website, I can tell you this could be anything. It could be a fitness studio. It could be a gym. She could be a Pilates instructor, a yoga instructor, a personal trainer. It could be a CrossFit gym. It could be, y'all, it could be so many different things. That's fine. But what we want to make sure is that if we go to this website, again, I've never gone to this website before in my life. I'm going to go ahead and take a gander. When we go to this website, private personal training studio in the heart of Fishers, Indiana. So there we go. Again, Vanessa doing a fantastic job with the first thing we see is that this is a private personal training studio. So the reason why I said all that stuff about I don't know what it is because the words that come up in the middle, the very first top of your page should be the thing that describes to anybody who's watching what you do and as clear as possible. So this is amazing because what this shows me is that that's what they do. They are a private personal training studio. You come in and you work either in one-on-one or small group sessions by appointment only. That is even more important. So what Vanessa is doing even better than Vola is that in that little description, Vanessa is including who her clients are and how they can make a relationship with her, right? So how Vanessa does relationships is one-on-one and in small groups, and it is clearly by appointment only. That is absolutely beautiful, y'all. You're doing a lot of work here. So online services, month in, year in, invoicing, accounts receivable, and Vola is doing the same thing. So for everyone here who has a website, I want you to look at your own website and see, are you doing what Vola and Vanessa, did I just pick two V first names? I don't think that has ever happened in life. Vola and Vanessa are doing. You need to make sure you're doing what they're doing, which is to say immediately upon landing on your website, it needs to be as clear as a bell what you do and who you do it for. Like, bang, that should be it. No questions asked, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about the stuff in the middle, titles and descriptions. The title of the Weber CPA homepage is Bookkeeping, Accounting, CFO Services for Nonprofits. That is the title. Now, you guys can't see that probably, but it's that little thing at the very top tab. That is the title of this page. Now, this is beautiful, and Vola is doing this perfectly because what they offer is bookkeeping, accounting, and CFO services. The title of a page is what Google reads. Remember, Google reads, it doesn't really do anything else. It doesn't see, it reads. And so if you're not giving it words, it can't read, right? We have to make sure the words are there. Now, with Vanessa's site, the title of this page is Studio Fitness. This is significantly less helpful because it's simply the name of the business. So what Vanessa needs to do is change the title of her homepage from the name of her business to private personal training, one-on-one and small group. That would be a really great way, or private personal training in Fishers, Indiana. So now we're making it even more specific. So the title is it's not the domain. That's a really good question, Mary. So it's not that www dot such and such. It is that thing that when you go into your website, as soon as you create a page, it says, what's the title of this page? It's that thing where it usually says home, or like here where it says nutrition. That is the title of the page, is like Studio Fitness Nutrition. It should say more than that. It should have something that tells us, especially if Studio Fitness has nutrition services, it should say nutrition services available at Studio Fitness, something along those lines that lets us all know that they have fitness, they have both the personal training, the one-on-one and the group, and they also have maybe a nutritionist on their team that can help you with your dietary needs, right? So if that's something that's happening and that's something that we care about, that we want people to know about, we need to have that in the title. It is very important. Titles and descriptions are what are read first by the internet. So the title is the big thing that you call your page, and the description is the words that you use to describe your page. Now, if you guys are okay with it, because you're asking good questions, I'm going to venture in. Y'all know, everybody who knows me knows that I'm a big fan of show and tell. So I'm going to do a quick little show and tell on my own website because I love just showing y'all how this stuff works, because it's very difficult to understand how titles and all that stuff that I'm talking about, like what does that even mean? So I'm just going to go to one of the websites that I manage, not mine actually. I'm going to go to a website that I manage because it's going to be a lot easier for you to see than one of the ones that I have, because my website is currently not really doing too much of anything. So when I go to this website, let's go to the edit section, actually edit the site. No, I'm in Wix. If you've never seen Wix before, there we go, website. Oh, I could just go to SEO. Oh, there we go, edit site. I'm like, I know there's a button. So I'm going to go into Wix and show you this on purpose. Like if you don't have a Wix site, that's fine. What I'm about to show you looks basically the same in everybody's website, which is the reason why I'm choosing to show you and live, is because it's going to be a lot easier for me to explain it to you if I just show you the back end of a website and show you where this information is. So this is what this website looks like. And this is a website for a mental health services specifically for educators. So it's bringing mental health conversations into the classroom because a lot of kids are being challenged with their mental health. And so that's what this business is about. Now, if I go to the pages and menus, the book and appointment page is titled, do you see that? It's titled book and appointment. And if I go into the settings area, I have the ability to have a description on this page. Let me go to SEO basics. There we go. I have a description that I could put on this page where it's right here, where it says meta description. And this is what I mean by like the page description. It's not what's in the website. It's what when you first create a page on your website, there's a place where you actually put the page description. And that's where you're going to want to say that our business does nutrition services, or you can make an appointment to contact me and talk about your needs for mental health, or for a CPA, you can, if you are a nonprofit organization, you can make an appointment, do whatever, like whatever it is you want to tell people about that specific page, you would put that in the description. And right here is where the page title goes. Now, why is this in SEO basics? Because absolutely, this is the first thing that the internet, meaning Google, reads on your website is your titles and your descriptions. Before they even read the content on your page, it reads your title and your description. So it's really important that each of those pages has a good title, like we got Vola. Vola's doing the work already. Good title, good description, because that makes it a lot easier for the website reader, Google, Bing, YouTube, to know what your website is all about, okay? So for everyone who's asking, it is actually on YouTube right now. So as soon as this workshop is over, if you wanted to rewatch this while you were eating dinner, you could, okay? So it is not only being recorded, it is actually live right now, and it will just stay up on YouTube. So you can go on to the YouTube site for SCORE Cleveland. That's how I love seeing it. Now, organization is another big factor. I told you I was going to spend a lot of time on this part. Organization is huge. Now, I've been telling y'all about how great Vola's website is, and it is. It's actually very nice. They've got remote CFO, bookkeeping, assistance, compliance. They've got these big buttons here. This is very good, Vola. Keeping it simple, keeping it at the top of the website. Now, when I click on this, the thing that I see again, bookkeeping services, very, very clear descriptions. We're not making this complicated, and it's schedule your consultation and a big old button right at the bottom of the page. Vola, good stuff. This is all amazing. So right now, this is all organized very, very well. This is not, it's clear where I'm going. If I click on the logo, I get back to the home page. All very clear. Vanessa, on the other hand, has a little bit of work to do to make her website a little bit easier to understand. With Vola's website, I know what her services are. I know what their services are. I know exactly what it is that they're trying to accomplish. Whereas with Vanessa, I'm not sure. And so the biggest thing I see on Vanessa's website is now hiring. But I am assuming that Vanessa wants clients more than she wants trainers. And because this website is not immediately telling me how to book an appointment, because it is by appointment only, how to do an assessment to see if I'm a good fit for studio fitness, how to, at this point, if I wanted to work with Vanessa, it's not as obvious as it should be. Now, some of y'all are saying, but Lindsay, don't you know how to read? It says right here, if you have any questions, you can email or give us a call. Yes, it does say that. But don't nobody read. Y'all know that. Like, I don't even know why you thinking that. You know people don't read. So if you give them too many words, they're not going to read it. And with Vanessa's website, the words get literally, they go into a V shape at the bottom, and it looks like they're getting smaller. The most important words on Vanessa's website are all the way down at the bottom, and they are small. And so we do not want that. Did y'all see how big this button is here? Bookkeeping, CFO, assistants, like bang, bang, bang. I'm right here. You know exactly what you're going to do. And so that's what we need to be doing, all of us. Make it plain, make it simple, make it obvious. And yes, she's using hyperlinks. No, use buttons, 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 like big old buttons, because people don't read and they only click on buttons. They don't click on links. So give them a button, make it plain, okay? So I just want you guys to be thinking in that way about your structure and how your website looks. Now, if you are thinking, but Lindsay, I don't even know what the keywords are. Like Vola knows it's bookkeeping and accounting and CFO. And I got Vanessa over here who's even with the website needing some work. Studio Fitness is killing it on the keywords, which is we got personal training, by appointment only, Fishers. Like she's got all the components. If you're still thinking, I don't even know what to put on my website for keywords, Google Trends is a really good way to start, right? It's a really good place to start. I'm glad you like it, Vanessa, because I was hoping you wasn't crying. Okay. So Google Trends. Now in the chat, I'm giving y'all one more assignment. I'm probably gonna give you two more assignments, but let's start with this first one. I would like for you to tell me, what keyword would you like to be found for? What do you want people to find you when they've typed this into Google? You want to come up. What is that phrase? What is that thing? Okay, so Nicolette said boutique. Nicolette, I have no idea where you are, and that is way too general. So we got kids events. That's also very general. Oh, depression treatment. That's pretty good. But is it drug-free depression treatment? Domestic violence, Margaret. No, you don't want to get found for domestic violence. Are you offering it? Is this so okay, you guys are giving me all of the best options. I'm loving it. Keep it coming. So hand poured, soy based. Okay, so you guys know, you're the ones of you who waited a second are getting better answers. So what I want you to do, everyone, I'm going to use some of your really bad ones, like domestic violence. I'm gonna use that one because it's hilarious. It's domestic violence is not funny. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying is that I am 100% sure Margaret does not want to be found for domestic violence. So what we do want to do is make sure that what we are trying to be found for is the thing that people are actually typing into the internet. That's the reason why I had you tell me instead, because what we want to do is to be found for the things that we want to be found for and not what we think people are searching for. So let's just stay with Margaret and domestic violence. So Margaret has written a book about domestic violence. Now, Margaret, I'm assuming that your book is about recovering and surviving domestic violence, not about domestic violence. It might be about domestic violence. See, there we go. So what do we want to be found for? We want to be found for surviving domestic violence. We do not want to be found for domestic violence because that's not what someone is talking. It's not what someone is going to put into Google. And that's the reality. Now, even more specific, Margaret, most people who are experiencing domestic violence don't always know that that's what they're experiencing. Domestic violence can be very insidious. Now, domestic violence is actually a really good example because it's just like everything else, it's multifaceted. And what you really want to do is think, how can I be specific about what someone is really concerned about? So someone is concerned about maybe a boyfriend who yells too much. Is my boyfriend's yelling a problem? Is my husband's drinking getting out of control? They're looking for that sort of thing. They're not really looking for domestic violence support. They might be, but if they do, see what happened when I type that in. The first thing that comes up, very fortunately, is a hotline and the domestic violence hotline sent like website. That's what you're going to get. Now, that is a very good thing, but obviously that means that Margaret can't compete with that. There's no way Margaret's going to win the search on domestic violence. But what she really wants to do is win on what other topics are related. So what we can do, and this is it's a very interesting thing to go into Google Trends, but I am going to actually go to Google Trends, google.com, and we're going to talk about the different topics around domestic violence, because what you guys need to understand is that people are not searching for what you think they're searching for. And we can look at this also from the bottom of the page, which is what people are also searching for. So I'm going to put, I'm going to say support domestic violence. Support. Okay, so if you were running an organization, if you have written a book like Margaret, then what you see here is this trend over time. Y'all, let me make this a 12-month search. This is the trend for the term domestic violence support over time. It's up and down like an echocardiogram. It's all over the place. So what we really want to do is look and see what else is being searched for. And the fact that the terms that are related, y'all, aren't even related to domestic violence tells you something. Margaret, this is telling you something. No one is searching for this term the way you think that they might be. And so if you're trying to be found for a term that people aren't searching for, it's going to make it very difficult for you to win the search. So everyone needs to do this. Every single one of you needs to go and look on Google Trends for the term that you put in on this chat, what you think you want to be found for, because a lot of you put in terms that are so broad or they're so kind of nebulous, like there's too much involved, that a regular person who is looking for an answer isn't going to type that in. They're not typing that in. So what we really need to be careful about is that we all have a little bit of bias in that we know more than most people about whatever our thing is. There was someone in here just a minute ago that was putting in stuff related to dog training. And the stuff you were putting in there was absolutely perfect, right? So anything that is related to, dog, behavior and things like that, those are the keywords that people are typing in. But then I have Katrinka, who is talking about vacation travel and weddings and destination weddings and things like that. A lot of those keywords look like they're awesome, but they're not really what people are searching for. So when you have to realize that people are searching way more literally than you think. And we need to be kind of trying to figure out what is the literal thing that someone is searching for when they're trying to find group travel. They're not going to type group travel in. They're going to type in vacation with friends. They're going to type in planning a family vacation. They're going to type in planning a trip with my sorority sisters. They're going to say planning a bridal shower, a destination bridal shower. They're going to type in a bunch of those types of terms. So what we want to do is remove our bias as to what we think people are typing in, and we want to put into Google Trends and all of these other places, we want to put the keywords that we think people would be using if they were just using plain language, just plain English, trying to figure out what it is that they're looking for. Now, if it's complicated, so we got Maring who is asking, like, in the B2B context, it's really complicated. You don't know what people are searching for in the internet. First of all, that's a really good question. There are several places where you can try to figure out what people's questions are if you don't know, okay? So if you are trying to figure out what they're trying to search for, one of your best ways to do that is through forums. So if you're Margaret, and Margaret is probably sitting at home going, but Lindsay, I know about domestic violence. So do I. And so what I would suggest, Margaret, is that you actually go to the forums and see what people are typing into domestic violence forums. So that includes Facebook groups, your Reddit threads, your Quora, your all of those types of forums that people still use to find information and to relate to each other. That's where you're going to find the keywords. So if you're still trying to figure this out, Mary, then it's go to the places where it's like, there are people who have these problems. What are they searching for? So if you are a dog trainer and you're trying to figure out what people are searching for, go to puppy groups for people who just got a brand new puppy. What are they searching? What are they typing in? Because that's what you want to know. You want to do a little bit of spy work to figure out what is someone actually typing in. In addition to all of that, there are so many little technical things that can actually matter for your website. Now, as you guys see, I like to use Wix. This is not an advertisement for Wix. You can use whatever you want. You can use GoDaddy's websites. You can use WordPress. You can use Shopify. You can use whatever works for you. But you want to make sure that whatever website provider you are using, that your website works on every browser, that it has good load time, and that you are using that little feature that I just showed you where you're putting the descriptions and the titles on every single page, right? Whatever platform you're using, I do not care. Just make sure that you're doing that basic work. And if you want a little bit more help, there is the SEO starter guide. So I'm going to go ahead and type this in so I can put it in the chat, g.co/SEO starter guide. And this is where you're going to get a little bit more information about how to do SEO for yourself. So I'm going to drop this in the chat and Bob can share it with you guys. And this is a really, you do not have to be a developer to understand this. This is just basic information about how to make sure that your website is actually going to show up well technically. So I'm talking about both the technical stuff and the non-technical stuff. And if you want to kind of work your way around that and use one of the tools that Google's off, all these tools are free. The tool that Google Trends is free, Google Search Console is free, but this site will help you figure out right now how you're showing up in Google. So if you already have a business, this will help you with that. So I've got two technical questions in the chat right now. I had someone who asked about whether or not you should do a site map. You asked in like about the XMPs, and you absolutely can and should have a site map. The reason why I waited to answer that question is because this is how you should do it. Google Search Console is a completely free platform that anybody can get on. And once you are on the platform with your website, you can actually create your site map based on Google's template. So there's a template in there. You can download the template and then create your site map and then upload it back to Google. So that if you're making changes, if you're Vanessa, and I bet you Vanessa's out here trying to make changes to her website, and she wants now Google to recalculate her website, to like re-examine it, look at it, make sure it's like being shown to people. The best way to do that is through Google Search Console. So you can upload a new sitemap. You can actually go and see what keywords you're being found for. And again, it's completely free. Okay. Okay, so forums, they're not Google forums. I was just talking about like Reddit and all that sort of thing. There's lots of forums out there. So Ariana is asking if we need to do a redirect if we change the title of a page. No, because you're not actually creating any new pages. You're not changing the URL of the page. You're just changing the title. That's different. So if I come in, I'm just going to come in here again and show you the difference. This is the page. This is what I would need to make a redirect if I was changing. I'm not changing that. This little title here changes nothing with where the page lives in the internet. Like this is the page's address in the internet. This is just the name of the page. So it's like the sign on your door that says Sims residence. That's what you're changing. like if you get married and now it says Sims McKee, that's just the name. Like it's not the address. Your address stays the same. The house is in the same spot. Everything about the house is the same. But if you were to say redesign the entire inside of the house, then you would want to create another map. That's what someone else was talking about a minute ago. Okay. So when you look at your website or when you're searching for those keywords, you can just use a basic Google search and see how those keywords show up. So that's what I just did with Margaret and domestic violence. You can look up a keyword and actually see what happens when that keyword is searched, because sometimes you will be surprised. Like I said, where you're searching for something and it feels obvious. Why isn't that what people are typing in? Well, people are special. I always like to say we're all a bunch of idiots and we don't know anything about the things that we're Googling. And so I have Googled, why is my dog's tail broken? Dogs don't have bones in their tail, so they can't be broken. But that is like my Google search when my dog had a sprained tail, because I didn't know what that was. So though that is what happens. We are a bunch of idiots just roaming around in the streets trying to figure out where the nearest coffee shop is. And your job is to just try to figure out how to help that very dumb person find you, right? That's it. We want to be benevolent and help them find us. Now, one of the best tools that you can do is to use your Google Business Profile, which hopefully you all have, and use your profile wisely, though. You want to make sure that it is like 99% complete as you can make it. Add photos, add links, add your services, add your products. The more you add to your Google Business Profile, the better and stronger it makes your profile. And when I say better and stronger, I mean more competitive. This is what you want. You're competing against all the other coffee shops, all the other candle makers, all the other CPAs. You're competing against everybody in Fishers. She's competing against everybody in Indianapolis. Like, Fishers is a suburb of Indianapolis. She's competing against everyone in Indianapolis for studio fitness. Like, it's those two words in and of themselves. She's competing with all these people. Now, if she's using her descriptions and her titles and all of that, she can actually be found. Like, that's what you want. So don't just put your little description in there and walk away. No, 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 no. You want to be posting. How often do you need to post to your Google profile? I'm not going to be suggesting you got to post there every day. That is not it at all. But how about once a quarter, once a month? Like, just post relatively often, like just every now and then. That is better than the nothing that most of y'all are doing right now. So post sometimes, and then turn on the messages so that people can actually contact you, because people are using those Google profiles now because the majority of people are on their phone. More than 50% of searches are happening on the phone. And if that's the case, the first thing they're going to see is your Google profile. If you've got the messages, they can just turn it on and message you directly. It's great, right? I have no idea, Manny. I have no idea the answer to that question. I'm sorry. It's like if someone else created your profile for you, how do you find it? Yes, you can have a home-based business profile. I myself am a home-based business, and I want you guys to see how easy it is to have a profile. So I'm going to Google myself, predictable results marketing. That's me. And that's my website. And when you pull up here, this is what you see. This is a Google profile right here. And as you can see, the map shows what's called a service area. It says I have a service area. I have a service area that includes a bunch of Northeast Ohio, which is why there's a little pin there. It is not a house address because I do not indeed want people coming to my house. That is not something I'm interested in. And so because of that, I did not select to have a Google profile that had an address in it. And you all have the option to do that as well. Now, I said I was going to talk for 2 seconds, about Google Ads. So I'm gonna give you literally 2 seconds. Susan, ask that question another way. And Melissa, I think I already asked that. You do not have to share your physical address. Verification is a beast right now. So if you are trying to verify it, there's so many new options, and because they added a bunch of new options overnight, it actually got a little complicated. So give them some grace, give yourself some grace. And remember, the reason why verification is hard is because they're trying to be quadruply sure that no one is stealing the identity of anyone else's business. So the second you want to be mad about how hard it is to get verified, remember how easy it is to have your Facebook page stolen. Did I just drop a mic? I think I did, because I bet you a bunch of you have had your Facebook pages stolen. And when was the last time someone ever mentioned having a Google profile stolen? It's like virtually impossible. And that's because the verification process is very hard. And that's on purpose. So it's on purpose. Okay. Just very much so. Now, when you do ads just help you kind of skip the line, right? So if you are trying to get found for, oh goodness, if you're Margaret and you're trying to get found for people who are going through domestic violence treatment, they are needing support, they want to hear other people's stories, they're on the recovery path, all of those things. One of the best things you can do to just kind of rise to the top is to actually do ads, because it'll help you get found a lot quicker. There are a lot of ways to do ads. Very fortunately, like I said, I'm probably going to be doing a workshop on that in the next couple of months. So just come back to the SCORE website. We'll talk about ads in depth. But the best thing is that there's now this thing called a smart campaign, and it is customized for us as small business owners. It makes it really, really easy. You say, what is it that I want my ad to be about? You connect your Google business profile so it knows all of your business's information. You figure out which page on your website you want them to go to. Like if you are Vola and you want them to go to your services page, specifically bookkeeping. So if you want to run a bookkeeping ad, you can send people directly to your bookkeeping page. And then because Google already has an AI, once you get that bookkeeping page in there, it's going to use AI to help you write the ads. You choose your keywords, bookkeeping services for nonprofits and small businesses. You set a little $5 a day budget and you go. It's that simple. It could be really genuinely that simple, but it's just a matter of making sure. For me, I would not want any of you running ads until your websites are as clean as Vola. Vola's got a clean website. It's smooth. It's good. So don't run ads until your websites are clean, because otherwise you're going to send people from an ad to a website that's complicated or confusing. And that's not going to win any customers. You're just going to waste money. So you want it to be as simple and easy to understand as Vola. Okay. If you can meet Vola's standard, then you can meet my standard. That's it. Right. So like I said, it can be really easy to get started. You just put in your website. It shows you where people are going to go. You pick your goal, you write your ad, and then pick your themes, and you set a budget. Oh, yes. And you get to say where you want your ads to show up. So if you want it to be all of, where are you, Michigan? I'm just trying to remember. No, Illinois. So all of Illinois, all of the, if you want it to be any of those places, then you can. Okay. I have said a ton of things tonight. Y'all know I've asked, like, I get you to a million questions. Let me get to the very end. As I said, 3 ways to appear. I showed you all those different ways. I want to know in the chat, while I put up my one little slide, thank you all very much. In the chat, before I let you go, I'm going to answer Susan's question real quick. But before I do, I want everyone to tell me in the chat, what are you going to do with what I just told you? I just gave you a lot of information, and your price of admissions tonight is to tell me how you're going to use it. What are you going to do next? What is the action that you are going to take? Okay, so put that in the chat. That's how I know that I did my job, is that you guys are going to actually do something with it. Now, if you are having problems like Susan, where your address is wrong or you moved and you're trying to figure out how to, if you can run ads and all that, you absolutely can. So you can still run ads even if your Google profile is having some changes, or you can run ads even if you don't have a Google profile. So you can, just in your ads, you would just need to fill in the same information that your Google profile would have, like the name of your business, your hours, your phone number, that sort of thing. So you don't need a Google profile in order to run ads, and it is actually still pretty easy. Okay, some of you guys are going to check your search terms, every darn thing. Do your research, fix your websites, get verified. That's a good one. I love it. Okay, you guys are taking action. That's what I care about. Bob, I think that's it. I think I helped some people with some things. Oh, you're still muted, Bob.
Of course. Um, so you did a great job. Every time I listen to you, Lindsay, I learned something new. I've been at this with SCORE for almost 10 years now, and I always learn something new. So it's been great. I think there may have been a couple questions. Um, Yeah, so I'm
Um,
looking at Q&A. I don't know if you want
I
if
can
you've already
answer
answered these.
I can answer both of these questions right now.
Okay,
So the thoughts on ChatGPT and should you hire someone to make your keyword list? So my answer for Amalara is use ChatGPT to make your keyword list because you can absolutely use an AI to help you figure out what keywords you're going to use. So you would go into the AI and describe your business and say, if you were looking for my business on Google, which keywords would you use? That's your prompt. It's to describe your business and then ask your AI, if you were looking for my business on Google, which keywords would you use? That's your best way of finding some good keywords is if you were trying to figure it out. So,
excellent. Good. Thank you.
mhm.
So Um, the slides will be available. I'm pretty certain that they will send you links to those slides. And certainly, I know that anything that's been done on YouTube is available. It takes a couple days for it to get up there. And then also, it will be on the SCORE website. So I appreciate everybody coming in. Lindsay, again, an amazing job. And we all appreciate what you've done for us. So thank you so much. Everybody, please join us for more. There check the website for the next series of workshops, and certainly we'll have Lindsay back again, and she'll be talking about Google Ads. So that's also a great presentation. I've sat through it, and I look forward to it again. Thanks, and take care, everybody.